Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and Metcalf Trucking and Trailer Repair. Today we sit down with Farmington Cardinal head coach Tommy Tice. This Pigskin Preview is sponsored by First Community Bank.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone in here to the Hometown Sports Pigskin Preview here on the Arkansas Sports Network. I'm sitting with the legend himself, Mr. Tommy Tice, the new head coach here at the Farmington Cardinals here, coming out of retirement and been coached since, I guess, 2019 now.
That's right.
Talk to me about what made you decide to step back into to coaching and getting back in,
Well, the desire had always been there.
Yes.
When I got out, I realized that I didn't have any hobbies. Didn't play golf, didn't fish, didn't hunt. So I stayed around the game of football. We moved back to Harrison. I was running the program there quite a bit. And, so I stayed around the game. Did some radio work, things like that. Attended a lot of practices, a lot of games, things like that. And really wasn't looking for a job when Farmington called, and I decided, well, hey, I probably need to listen to this. And so it just worked its way out. And I was really glad that it did.
Yes, sir. Farmington, of course, if you haven't been up here in the last few years, it's a different place than it was 20 years ago. It's blown up, and competing in a big level here now, 5A. Talk to me about the facilities and the support you have here with the administration and the community. What it must be like.
Well, the facilities are second to none.
Right.
They're as good as any up and down this highway over here. I-49 all the way to Bentonville to down into Fort Smith. These facilities take a back seat to no one. We have a football stadium. There's no track around it. The crowd's really involved. They're pretty much on top of you. And of course, we got a really nice indoor facility with offices, nice weight room, film room, dressing rooms. Really nice facilities. Of course, all this is led by, Mr. John LaFoon and Mr. Bo Thompson. Bo's our AD, Mr. LaFoon's our superintendent. As we all know, any good programs have got administrators that care, and we have those.
Yes, sir.
And we're really tickled to have them, and we're really lucky to have them.
Yes, sir. Talk to me about last year's Farmington team. What you've found out since you've been back here now, and I know they made the playoffs, and they had a couple upsets there at the end of the season. What all do you have coming back from that team? Is there?
So we have quite a bit coming back.
Nice.
It was a good football team. They won the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were 5-2. I think they were tied. But they ended up winning it. Had a real good team. I got to see them a couple times doing radio, and returning quite a bit of that team. You return your quarterback, Hayden Lester, and Luke Elsick, all-purpose back. Those are people that got a lot of experience. Elsick's a dynamic player running and catching the ball, and Lester can really throw it. So we, have a lot of that. Where we lost people, we lost in the offensive line.
Okay.
We're real young in the offensive line, but kids that are good football players coming off an undefeated junior high team.
Nice.
So, that combination's not bad.
Right.
Good senior class, good sophomore class. And I think it's a great combination, and hopefully the future looks good.
Yes, sir. As you get back into this, what kind of, first off, let's talk about your coaches a little bit. Who do you have on your staff here? Was there any of the guys here last year, or is it all new?
Our Casey Moreland, our defensive coordinator, is back with us, and we're fortunate to have Casey. He's a very dynamic coach, very outstanding coach. I would say our coaching staff takes a back seat to no one. Mark Watley's our offensive coordinator, who was offensive coordinator at Springdale for a number of years. Also, during his head coaching career, he won numerous district championships at Newport, Ashdown, back-to-back championships at Rising. He also won a district championship at Jacksonville.
Wow.
So he's an outstanding coach.
Yes, sir.
Offensive line, Jared Jackson, who spent time with Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
We're very, very lucky to have him. And we talked to Billy Harrelson out of retirement, who was kind of like me, but Billy hadn't been out as long. He'd been out just 2 years.
Okay.
He figured out he didn't have anything going on
Right.
either. You know, but he had a burning desire to get back in.
Right.
We're very, very fortunate to have Billy.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. A lot of experience with those coaches you just named off. A lot of winning experience as well. You said that your O-line is young. Talk to me about what this spring and this early summer has kind of looked like. How are things working out on filling those spots and also your depth and everything?
Well, on the offensive side of football, it has been a learning experience because we haven't changed a lot of the plays that run, but the names have changed.
Okay.
So we've slowed down and brought that situation along in lots of different team camps, things like that. So we're getting more experience as time goes by.
Yes, sir.
But they are young. They are young, but they'll fight you. And so we'll be all right there. Defensively, we're small. There's one thing I noticed when I walked in here is that I'm about the tallest guy here. So, but they'll hit you. They'll run to the football. They're a reflection of their coach, Casey Moreland. They play with a lot of intensity.
Nice. Your offense, you said you changed the terminology a lot, so you got to slow it down. Everybody gets on the same page with that. What do they? Are y'all a wing tee or a spread? What are you doing here?
Haven't been in the wing tee in a long time.
Yeah.
No, we evolved like everybody else into the spread offense. We're more of a two-back spread team.
Okay, like a power spread kind of.
Kind of a power spread. We're more, I don't know. People like to be 50-50. We're probably 60-40 running fast.
Okay.
So, but no, everybody's in the spread nowadays. Except my good friend Danny Absher, who coached with me at Harrison years ago.
I just left there actually. So we talked to a whole bunch of wing tee for a while there.
I guarantee you that. And I love the wing tee, but
yes.
I like to stay up to date. I always did. Whatever offense that I was in, I always threw the football. And whether it was the wing tee or the pro eye or whatever we were doing. And that evolved from spending a lot of time with Frank Broyles. He said you had to run some form of the option. You had to run some, and you had to be able to throw the football to be successful against better and bigger teams. Like when they were beating Texas, that's how they went about doing it.
Yes, sir.
So that's worked well for me. That philosophy stuck with me, and I'll take it with me forever, no matter what formation we're in.
Yes, sir. Was there any, you named Moreland and I'm sorry, you named Lester and Elsick. Were there some other returning guys off of last year's team that were all conference last year possibly?
Well, our middle linebacker, Shader, is an outstanding player, and he makes tackles all over the field.
Nice.
Also, Jaquel Brown, defensive end, those two players, and young man his first name escapes me, and I'm sorry about that, but Clark in the secondary, those three players really stand out. They're everywhere, making plays and providing great leadership.
Yes, sir. Y'all getting back into things. What's has it felt kind of like putting the glove on?
Like it never left.
Like it never left.
No, never
Feels
left.
really good.
Walk out there and practice, and that was the thing I liked about the game the most. Anyway, was practice, being around the young men and what's going on in their lives. Things like that. But no, it's like it never left me.
Yes, sir. Stepping into this opportunity here with the support we've talked about a little bit and just everything you see around and what does that feel like? It's got to feel pretty good to know you got that much support behind you and everything's there. If the kids want it, that they have a chance to succeed.
Well, it's great to be in a place that expects you to do well. Expects your kids to do well. They don't care how hard you work them. Matter of fact, Farmington and Harrison are quite a bit alike.
That's nice.
They expect their kids to be worked hard, but the fan base is well educated. You know, we have a lot of support here. People really like football and want us to do well, and are willing to, you know, support us in any way they can.
Yes, sir. Sounds pretty exciting, Coach. A lot of good things you've got coming back from a really good team already. A lot of big-time guys going to help you out. You named off those ones on defense, and Brown and Clark, and was it Shader? Shader, middle linebacker, and got guys like Lester and Elsick to work around and on the offense, and got a young offensive line, but you think they got some game to them that you're going to get it figured out, and they'll hit you said, and they're not afraid. Sounds like a lot of good things here for you to mold and to kind of get going here and to have a successful season.
Well, I didn't bring it.
Right.
It was already here.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can enhance it a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And one of the best things a coach can do is not mess something up. But, you know, one of the biggest things for our situation right now is we bump up classification. Conference schedule now becomes really, it's going to be tough. You know,
yes, sir.
Get in the league with Bologna, Greenbrier, Morrilton, Harrison,
right.
Alma, those folks. Hey, that's a good league.
Oh, yes.
You know, so
yes, sir.
We have to realize that we're not going to move back classification. We're going to keep going up.
Right.
So we just got to welcome it, meet the challenge head on.
How many players would you say, off the top of your head, are on your roster?
About 85.
About 85. So that's a good number of depth, as you know, going up in that classification. That your depth is going to be something that's going to become, you know, an issue if you don't have it, for sure.
Well, we try very hard to be two platoon. You know, right now we are. Now we got some guys, like the ones I've named off right there. We got some guys that probably draw some two-way duty.
Right.
But most of the time we'll be completely two platoon.
That'll help. Coach Tice, tell me a little bit about what, if you had to say right now, what would be your biggest strengths, your biggest weaknesses?
Well, I'd say strength-wise is that we're very athletic. We're quick. We got a lot of quickness. And we're strong. They've done a great job here with their off-season program. The kids can move. And also, like I say, that attitude of expecting to win.
Right.
Weaknesses, I would say, young offensive line's got to grow up pretty quick. And we're just like everybody else, depth-wise. We're always looking for more depth. So those two things are concerns. They don't keep me up at night because we've got good people there.
Right.
But how they come along, quick as they can come along, we can get them out of diapers, I think we'll be all right.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll close with this. What do you think Farmington has to do this season to call it a successful season? What do you want to see happen?
Well, I think anything less than our best is failure.
Right.
And what does that mean? Well, it's all relative to your opposition.
Yes, sir.
If you knew going in all the breaks were going to be even, I like our odds. But a lot of things you can't control. But we, like I say, town expects to do well, our kids expect to do well, and Tommy Tice expects to do well.
Yes, sir. That's the first thing you got to have. You got to have guys that expect to do well and want to do well.
Well, attitude is everything.
Yes, exactly. So if you've got that and you've got support behind you to go with it, I mean, it really got to be exciting for a head coach to.
Well, it's very exciting for me. Of course, people say, well, you're 72 years old. Well, hey, I was 22 years old and got the first job, and they said I was too young.
Yeah.
Now they're saying I'm too old. So,
right.
Hey, maybe history repeats itself in the opposite direction.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time, Coach.
Absolutely.
Awesome interview. That's the legendary Tommy Tice here, coming back his first year taking over for the Farmington Cardinals. It's going to be exciting to see how it all pans out this season. We appreciate y'all for watching this interview with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.